I want to welcome everyone for the 22-23 school year, and I hope that everyone has gotten off to a great start this year. This message is regarding student attendance and the importance of students establishing good attendance habits. In the last few years, we've had quite a few interruptions in our lives with respect to the hurricane and COVID. And we're fortunate that this year we were able to start the school year off with minimal interruption at this point in the year. And we're encouraged and hopeful that this year will continue to be with minimal interruptions from outside forces. With that being said, it's extremely important, taking into account what has taken place in the last few years, that we get back to a good habit of having solid attendance with our students. If there's anything that we learned from the pandemic, it was that a student has the greatest opportunity to learn when they're in a classroom with like age mates and a teacher where they have the opportunity to benefit from one another's instruction and conversation. So in order to try to foster that, school districts all over the state of Florida establish attendance rules and policies that encourage students' attendance. A lot like you see on the highways with speed limit signs that dictate how fast we're to go in certain areas, residential areas. It may be a little slower than it is on the open road. There have to be rules in place to try to establish minimums as to what we look for as far as student attendance. Our policy in Calhoun County is much like what the state's policy is. It's actually a little bit more forgiving than what the state allows as far as attendance is concerned. But by law, students are required to be enrolled in school what they call compulsory attendance age between the ages of 6 and 16. In Calhoun County, attendance is kept by period. Doesn't matter what school you attend, attendance is kept by period. And our policy allows for an opportunity for parents, guardians to be able to excuse absences for a variety of reasons, but we also have to try to maintain a balance of how many days we are missing in a 9 weeks period of time so that students have the opportunity to learn as much as possible in the classes. In Calhoun County, our policies allow parents to write 3 notes to excuse an absence for any reason whatsoever. A parent's discretion, 3 notes, 3 absences per 9 weeks that a parent can excuse. We also have written into that policy as well 2 absences a student, in addition to the 3 that the parent can excuse. There can be 2 absences that a student might have that there's no note received whatsoever. I would encourage parents, guardians, to pay attention to absences and keeping up and with each 9 weeks and grading period is how many absences their child may have had. Anytime a child is sick that you take the child to the doctor, always get a doctor's note because the doctor's notes do not count against the parent notes or the unexcused absences that a child may have in a grading period. As I was mentioning with respect to the 2 unexcused absences, no note whatsoever. If you add the 3 parent notes and the 2 unexcused absences, a student can have 5 absences in a 9-week grading period in which there is really no punitive action that takes place. Now, the missed instruction, you can't get that back. You can be given makeup work and things to do to try to stay caught up with the class, but that missed instruction time can't be duplicated. After 3 or more unexcused absences in a 9 weeks period of time, a student's grades can be lowered. And we do not want to have punitive measures in place or ways that we penalize students. We want to encourage good attendance habits. But if a student has more than the allowable absences in a grading period that are unexcused, their grades can be affected by that. Our first grading period, and attendance is kept by grading period for the whole course of the year. We start over every 9 weeks with a clean slate as far as that's concerned, pertaining to the number of notes and absences that a child may have. For the first grading period this year, the 9 weeks ends on October the 11th. And as of today, and this is part of the reason for this notice, we have, out of our 4 schools, we have 239 students out of our 4 schools that have missed 6 or more days. So it's concerning to us. As I mentioned earlier, we want to get back on track this year. COVID, hurricane issues, those things are behind us. We are moving forward, and we want to establish good attendance habits for our students. I thank you for listening to this message, and I encourage anyone that might have questions pertaining to attendance to contact their child's school. Speak to someone there regarding attendance for any messages that you might want to clear up. And I also would encourage you to stay tuned for more attendance information in future messages. Thank you.